Chapter 9. Harmful condiments, stimulants, and narcotics. The injurious effects of sugar, salt, coffee, tea, tobacco, and alcohol. Sugar. Refined cane sugar, white or brown, glucose, saccharin, molasses, and their products, such as candy, chocolate, ice cream, soda water, fruit preserves, jelly, pie, pastry, and cake, are extremely harmful. White sugar has been treated with chemicals, and has been bleached by animal bones. Because of the high temperature to which it has been heated, in the process of refining, it has been reduced to a crystalline, inorganic state, in which it cannot be assimilated by the cells of the human body. The candy-eating habit in children is a vicarious form of alcoholism, for white sugar changes in the stomach into alcohol. That is why prohibition in the United States was followed by an increased use of confectionaries. Alcohol is fermented sugar. In eating a form of sugar which readily ferments, we take incipient alcohol into the system. Although its effect upon the system is highly stimulating, the energizing power of sugar is exceeded only by its reaction of fermentation, much like an explosion, resulting in the absorption of what remains of the oxygen in the stomach. After food enters the stomach, one of two things physiologically happens, either digestion or fermentation. The common theory that sugar is both strengthening and fattening is due to the alcohol in which there is absolutely no nourishing or fattening materials. From this, we unconsciously turn our gastric laboratory into an alcoholic distillery. Sugar, when thus converted into alcohol, has the semblance of giving extraordinary strength momentarily to the individual, similar to the common effect on the system when taken in the form of spirits, or liquor, when drunk as an intoxicating beverage. But instead of strengthening and vitalizing the system, sugar, in fact, does the opposite by using the body up and breaking it down. It has a peculiar action of leaching the blood from the tissues. As it is possible for the body to utilize but a small portion of the amount of sugar actually consumed, the organs are overtaxed and have a burdensome task of eliminating and ridding themselves of the surplus. The fruits and natural foods contain in abundance all the sugar needed to meet the requirements of the body. The physiological effects of white sugar and alcohol are almost identical. Both rapidly oxidize, absorbing oxygen from the blood and precipitating inorganic carbon on the mucous lining of the digestive tract and along the interior wall of the arteries. The heat generated by this combustion has been mistaken by physiologists for the energy-producing quality of sugar. Such heat is identical with that resulting from the drinking of alcohol. It is due to the oxidation of carbon compounds in the stomach. Carbon dioxide is thus generated, and the blood is filled with carbonic acid. This chemically combines with the calcium of the bones and teeth, forming a calcium carbonate precipitate which leads to calcareous hardening of the arteries. It is for this reason that children who eat much candy remain small and suffer from dental decay. Often the taking of sugar into the body is quickly followed by a toothache. The calcium in the blood regulates the beating of the heart. White sugar, by causing a precipitation of this calcium, causes the heart to beat excessively fast. Similar effects follow the use of alcohol. The heart is also forced to beat faster because of the lowered concentration of oxygen in the blood. The effects of white sugar, like those of alcohol, are most pernicious upon the brain. The child addicted to candy experiences a mild intoxication after the indulgence. The saturation of the blood with carbonic acid interferes with the cerebral circulation, dulls the brain and retards mental development. If this is true of white sugar, is it not true of all sugars? Must differentiate between a natural and fresh sugar, such as that in the grape, and an artificial and preserved sugar, such as white sugar, or even raisins. The sugar of the grape, dextrose, immediately passes into the blood after entering the stomach. Presence of vital force within it prevents its fermentation. However, should grapes stand a few days, and should this vital force be dissipated, it will commence to ferment, or turn into alcohol. Raw cane sugar, like grapes, is very nutritious, it does not ferment. And as the raisin is a grape whose fermentation has been prevented by being dehydrated, so white sugar is a dehydrated and crystallized form of cane sugar. When such preserved sugar is eaten, moisture is suddenly added to it. This leads to an outburst of its inhibited fermentation, especially in the presence of the hydrochloric acid of the stomach. Therefore, dried fruits, such as prunes, figs, dates, apricots, peaches, and raisins, though far more healthful than white sugar, are not truly hygienic foods. Besides, as usually obtained, they have been treated with sulfur, or artificially sweetened. As substitutes for white sugar, honey, maple sugar, and carob sugar. Pulverized St. John's bread, which contains 55% natural invert sugar and 25% protein, may be recommended. None of these, however, are as hygienic as the fresh dextrose of grapes. Saccharin, a coal tar product, glucose, which has been treated with chemicals, and molasses, which contain poisonous sulfur dioxide, the three chief constituents of children's candies, are all very injurious.